Hi everyone, and welcome to this YouTube channel. My name is Penny, and this is Penny's Coding Bits. This channel is dedicated to bring you weekly bite-sized videos with practical solutions for your everyday data analytical challenges. And this video is going to walk you through a mobile app that gives you the magic stock mix for a given volatility level that maximizes return. And this is based on a Python code that I had developed last year. And this code is based on the concept of the efficient frontier. So the idea with this is that all of the portfolios along this curve are the portfolios that maximizes investment return given their respective volatility levels. And in operationalizing this code, back then I had this user text input that you could enter your desired volatility level and hit enter, and the algorithm should return a stock mix for you to achieve this volatility level while maximizing return. So back then, the stock ticker symbols that's being analyzed are hard coded into the code, and that's Apple, Microsoft, and Google. So in the mobile app version, I had installed this text input so that users may enter whatever ticker symbol they would like. So for demonstration purposes, I will use Apple, Microsoft, Google, but you could enter whatever you would like here. So Apple, Microsoft, and Google. And you would need to enter the start date and the end date of the stock price history for these ticker symbols that you would like the app to analyze to yield the efficient frontier for you. So for our purpose, I'll just pick 2023, November 1st. And then the end date is 2024, February 10th. And hit fetch data. And the stock price history for this time period for the stocks that you had entered should display here like this. And the efficient frontier for this period will be appearing on the top of this tab. And once you have this, you could move on to the magic stock mix tab where you could slide the volatility slider so that the app would begin to give you a range of stock mixes, and you could see the text change for the percentage holdings for each stock. And you could also see the marker move along the curve to indicate where you are on this curve so that you could see how your portfolio is comparing to all the other portfolios on this curve. So let's have a look at the back end of how this app is built. So when we go into Android Studio, we could see that there are 8 files on the top that's in charge of the background logic that supports the operation of this app, and there are 4 files on the bottom that supports the front end design of the app. And I had conveniently put them into a relationship chart so that you could see how they are related to each other. So first of all, we have the main activity Kotlin file that lumps together all of the functionalities in this app. And that's supported by its own activity main design file, as well as the sections pager adapter, which supports the multi-tab view in the app so that you could slide back and forth between pages, right? And Share View model stores all of the data that's being used in the app. And each of these are being used by all three tabs. So I have file import for the stock input screen, and that is where you input your ticker symbols and start and end dates. And I have the file preview page, and that supports the stock data tab. And the volatility fragment supports the magic stock mix tab. And you'll see that each of them pulls the data from the share view model, and all of them share this multi-tab view that the app supports. And each of them have a design file that supports the front-end design on each of the tabs. And you'll also see that file import has 2 extra files. So stock data response carries the structure of the data that is coming from the API, which I have used Alpha Vantage for pulling the stock market data from. And that is being cleaned, and our end data, our clean data, is being stored in the aggregated stock data file. So let's have a look at each of these together. So in the main activity file, we can see that activity main is being used to support the top tabs that we have to support the multi-tab functionality in the app. And we have the share view model that supports the share data between the tabs, and the sections pager adapter that supports the swiping between tabs so that we could have a very streamlined viewing experience for all three tabs in here. And the activity main file, we could see that we have all of the configurations for the tab layouts and all of the colors that supports when a tab is selected or not. And View Pager 2 is really the backbone that supports the multi-page view in an app. And let's just start from the first tab and go through each of the tab functionalities. So in file import, and this is supporting the stock input tab. So we have the text input for tickers, start date, and end date here. And we're pulling it from the Alpha Vantage website, and we're fetching the data. And the front end design for this tab is contained in the file input XML file. And you'll see that the text input for tickers, start date, and end date are here. And there is also the button for fetching the data. And the next would be the stock data tab, and that is contained in the file preview file. And in here, we first need to have a functionality that supports the stock data table that we have here. So that is contained in the populate stock data table function. And we also need a function that supports the plotting of the efficient frontier. And of course, that includes the calculation for the portfolio return as well as the portfolio volatility. And this is being supported by the file preview XML file. And you'll see the graph view is on the top that supports this plot on the top of this tab. And we also have a placeholder text view that tells the user that the data is being fetched here and will appear soon on this page. And once the data appears, this line will disappear, and instead the stock data table will show. And last but not least, we have the volatility fragment that supports our magic stock mix tab, which is here. And in here, we need to first have the slider bar, which is being supported by the configure seek bar function. And we also need to observe our efficient frontier and derive an updated weight for our portfolio mix and display that and update the marker on the efficient frontier that indicate where we are for our chosen portfolio as we slide the slider bar. And this is being supported by the fragment volatility XML file. And you'll see the seek bar on the very top and the slider value that indicates where we are on the slider and the portfolio mix weight text view that displays this part of the output as well as the efficient frontier chart. And for the data to properly display and calculate for our subsequent calculations, whether it would be the return or volatility, we need the data to be structured in a simplified way rather than the original form that they came from the API. So when they came from the API, we would have a structure that looks like this. So there are many information that's being stored in the AlphaVantage API service. So we are only interested in the time series daily data, and there are other data that's by minute, and there are openings and there are maxes. We're not interested in them. We're only interested in the time series daily data, and specifically we're interested in the closing data. And we are also including a error handler here in case we run into errors in fetching data. And once this is cleaned up into the format that we're seeing in our app here, it would look something like the aggregated stock data. So that only includes the date and the prices as we see in our app. And to support all of the above functionalities, we need the sections pager adapter that labels all of our tabs into one view. So file import is 0, so stock input is 0, and file preview is 1, so stock data is 1, and volatility fragment is 2, so magic stock mix is 2. So this is the same as how a series of numbers are being displayed in Python. So it starts with 0 instead of 1. And last but not least, we have the shared view model that stores all of the data that's being used in the app. And that includes the tickers and then our cleaned stock data. And you'll see that's being defined in more detail down below, as well as our efficient frontier data and our weight for portfolios for the desired volatility level that the user has chosen. So this is high level of how this app is being built. I hope this will bring some clarity to the kind of volatility that you are being exposed to through your stock investments or other types of investments, and the type of exposure that you will be exposed to with your future investments. I'll see you in the next video.